Good morning, everybody. So today we're doing a no props version of our Spine Safe mat class. With that being said, if you tend to get tension in your neck from keeping your head down, which is what we do if we have bone density loss, it's a great idea to have a little pillow so that you can place it behind your head if that happens. So we'll lay down on one side, flip over, and this is a great position for us to begin our warm-ups. Pull your shoulder blades down your back, and then let's go ahead and place hands on belly and lift and lower your hips to organize your spine. That's right. Okay, so we'll do a couple of bridges, a couple of bottom lifts, remembering that if we do have bone density loss, that we can just lift up our pelvis without lifting beyond the rib cage. And that is a safer way to organize our spine. And one more time, just lift up and then lower on down and pull your shoulder blades down your back. Then with your fingers spanning wide on your belly, take a breath. Exhale, pull your pelvic floor up, pull the belly in and bring one leg up to tabletop. See if it's okay to add the other leg. So if it is, you'll know your back will feel fine, you feel strong in your abdominals, and nothing changed. And then you can begin doing your toe dips, your toe taps. Okay, you don't need to necessarily go all the way down to the floor. Now, if you feel that your belly is popping up under your fingers and your back is rising off the mat or is too tense, you could go ahead and instead of the toe taps, do marching. Okay, and the same principle applies. We're looking with our hands to make sure that our abdominals are stabilizing the entire trunk. And of course, this is going to involve some work in the back because everything works together. But it should be, the feeling, the sensation would hopefully be mostly in our abdominals. Okay, so we'll just do a couple more toe taps or knee folds. And then go ahead and gather your knees in your hands, and then take your knees around in mirror image circles. Perfect. Let's go the other direction. Just keep breathing. Perfect. And let's go ahead and put our feet down. And just bring your ankles and knees together so you get a little squeeze into the inner thighs, and then place your hands interlacing your fingers behind the base of your skull. So to keep your elbows wide brings your spine into extension. So we're going to experiment with a little bit of flexion. So wing your elbows up off the mat slightly, and then nod your chin just a little bit, then pull into your belly and find your rib cage muscles and use those muscles to come up into a head hover. So the head hover is very, very low. It's so low that you could actually extend your fingers that are holding behind your head and touch the mat and then come back down again. So we're just basically going from, an extension to neutral here on the mat, is using our abdominals to hinge upward at the mid rib cage level. Okay, so let's just do a few more of the head hover. Now, if you do not have bone density loss or neck issues, disc issues, you can go ahead and keep coming up a little higher. And if you're coming up higher, look down over your cheekbones towards your legs or your belly. And then make sure that the way back down is just as important as the way up. So we want to control the movement both ways. So we get this feeling that we're working our muscles in both their shortening phase and in their lengthening phase. And this is a much more effective way to work our abdominals. Okay, so last one. Okay, good. And then we'll uninterlace our fingers. Now take your knees back into your hands. And this time, instead of taking the knees around in mirror image circles, take your knees around so that you're massaging the edge of your sacrum. Now we have a nice round movement. The whole pelvis is rolling together, and then we'll go the other direction. Perfect. And we'll bring our feet down to the mat. Let's just lift and lower our hips, organize our spine, and stretch your arms out long beside you on the mat. So this is where you could put a pillow under your head if you'd like. And we'll begin by bringing your arms about 3 inches off the mat and just begin to move them up and down. So they're moving together. Okay, so this is our hundreds arm beat. So what you can do here is, if you're new or feeling like you want to take it a little bit easier today, keep your feet down and just squeeze your legs together, pull up your pelvic floor and breathe. And it's inhale for a 5 count and exhale for a 5 count. If you'd like more, you could bring your legs up into tabletop. You can keep them close. If you do not have bone density loss, you could bring your head up. And if you would like even more, you could extend your legs. Okay? And inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. And keep moving with your breath, beating your arms as if you were patting water with very stiff arms, working from the shoulder. Now, if you'd like to extend your legs long and you do have bone density loss, you need to keep your head down. Your legs will likely need to be pointed up higher. Okay, so just try that. And we'll do about 10 more here. And exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, and then bring your knees in, hug your knees in. Great job. And we'll take our legs around in mirror image circles. Let's go the other direction. Great. And we'll place our feet back down on the mat. And again, lift and lower your hips to organize your spine. So now reaching long with your hands on the mat. See if you can walk your shoulder blades down your back. And then again, lift up your hips and walk your hips away from your ribs. And then from here, see if it's okay to stretch your left leg out long on the mat. And you can flex your foot as if you were standing on the floor. Okay, and press actively into your mat. Bring your right leg up to tabletop and then straighten your right leg up toward the ceiling. Okay, so both legs are active. If this position is not good for your back, you may bend the floor leg. And bring your leg down the middle and bring it out to the edge of your mat and up. Okay, so notice as we move into our small single leg circles that we're asking our body to stay still on the mat. So if you really take it kind of slow, then you'll feel that your abdominals are working to not rotate your hips in the direction of the moving leg. So we're really pulling into our left low ab here as the right leg is circling around. Let's do one more in this direction. And then we'll go the other direction. So out and down. Be careful if anyone has the hip popping or snapping. Okay, you can make your movement a little smaller on the circling down. This is normally where a hip pop would happen. And just see if you can find a range where you're stable. Okay, and 2 more here. Last one. Perfect job. And just pull that knee in and give it a little love. Take it around in a few circles, guiding with your hand. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and place your right foot on the floor. Bring your left leg up to tabletop and slide the right leg out long. Again, you've always got the option of having your floor leg bent. Straighten the left leg up toward the ceiling. Press actively into the mat. Pull into your belly. And bring your left leg down and bring it out and around to the edge of the mat and up. So we're keeping our circles quite small right now in the moment. Keep your feet active. So the floor leg is flexed and the working leg can be pointed. So as long as you're really reaching through your legs. Okay, good. Paying attention to the right low ab here. And one more, and we'll change directions. And again, be aware on the circumduction down, the circling down of any tendency to be popping or clicking in your hip. And you will want to make your range of movement a little smaller if that's happening. that doesn't work, sometimes we use a TheraBand or a yoga strap to support the leg. And last one, perfect job. And bring your left knee into your hand and then take it around in circles. Let's go the other direction. Good. So now keep your left shin in towards your chest and slide your left hand down to the outside of your left ankle. Your right hand is up on top of your shin, right below your knee. Okay, so pull into your belly and elevate the right leg up. So you can choose low or you can choose about 45 degrees. So we'll have our elbows wide and then push-pull the leg actively with your hands and feel how that engages your abdominals. Okay, and then we'll switch our leg that we're holding and also switch the hand placement. So the outside hand is always on the outside ankle. So this is our single leg stretch. So we'll just go right into that and keep breathing. And again, if you are, improving bone density and you do have osteo something, your head stays down. If you do not, you could nod your chin and come on up and then watch yourself change hands in style. Okay, keeping the elbows rounded, using the push-pull. And if you need more, a couple differences in hand placement you could try. One would be placing your hands on the outer and inner line of the leg in the same position so that you're not push-pulling anymore. And the other one would be just holding your hands out next to your side, hovering as if you were going to start hundreds. Okay, so we'll just do one more on each. Bring your knees in, lower your head down if it's lifted, and take your knees around in circles around the sacrum. Just keep breathing. Good, so now let's bring our knees in, and we've got our hands on our shins. The elbows again are wide. Choosing head up or head down. Exhale and pull your belly in and pull up your pelvic floor and zip up your thighs. And then as you inhale, release your legs, extend your arms overhead to a reasonable level that you can support, and then swim your arms around, bend your knees in, and capture your shins with your hands. Let's do 5 more. This is our double leg stretch. And we'll keep moving with our breath with a lovely intention. So inhaling as we extend, exhaling as we bring our knees in. And last one. Perfect job. And let's go ahead and lower our feet down to the mat. Open your arms out wide. Keep your legs together and take your knees over to one side so you get yourself a nice stretch, a nice rotation. And we'll go over to the other side on our next exhale. Just keep breathing. And one more time on each side. Good. Last time on the second side. Nice. And we'll bring our legs back to center, bring our hands back in next to our body, pull shoulders down, and let's lift and lower our hips again to organize our spine. Very nicely done. And then let's go ahead and just begin to take your legs from side to side. Inhale as you go to the side, exhale as you come to center. And notice how if you don't really pay attention to your inner thighs, your thighs will slide past each other, okay? So now try holding your thighs together and moving from side to side, and feel how your whole pelvis rotates like a cylinder. Okay, good. So now let's go ahead and try that same movement with your legs in tabletop. And if that's too much, just go ahead and keep your feet down. So go from side to side with your legs in tabletop, and notice how When your legs move from side to side, your shoulder wants to lift and follow your legs. So then begin to bring your awareness to your shoulders, pressing down into the mat. Inhale to the side, exhale to center. Okay, so now if you would like more, extend your legs up long and go from side to side with your legs straight up toward the ceiling. Keep your legs squeezing together and keep your ankles together. So instead of the knees sliding, if we're not rotating the pelvis, if the legs are sliding past each other, then we need to pay attention to the ankles as our cue there. And one more time on each side. Perfect job. And let's go ahead and bring our knees into our chest. Just hold on to your legs for a moment and take your legs around in a circle in one direction, and then take your legs around in a circle in the other direction. Again, one circle around guiding your knees and the other direction guiding your knees. So this is our corkscrew pattern. So we can do this pattern with our legs on tabletop or our legs straight up toward the air, okay, straight up toward the ceiling. If you feel like you need extra support and your head is down, put your hands underneath your booty, okay? Take your legs around in a small circle in one direction and take your legs around in a small circle in the other direction. Keep breathing. So inhale as your legs go around, exhale to bring them back up again. Inhale around, exhale up. Let's do 3 more sets. Exhale up, inhale around, exhale up, and inhaling around, squeezing your thighs together. Inhale around. Very good. Last set. Inhale around, exhale up, inhale around, exhale up. Very nice. That's a little bit of belly fire there. And let's hug our knees in. Place your feet down. Open your arms again. Take your knees to one side and just stretch it on out. Couple of breaths here. And then we'll exhale and move our legs to the other side. Take a couple of breaths. Exhale back to center. And then let's go ahead and bring our arms next to us and roll all the way over. So now we're going to be laying on our belly for a moment. If that's not your happy place, you could place a pillow under your abdomen to give your low back a little bit more space if that's something that your body needs, okay? So we'll go ahead and lay on our belly. Place your forearms beside you on the mat, and then lengthen your legs out. Okay, pull your shoulder blades down and keep your head a little bit lifted with the back of the neck very long. And then we're going to go ahead and take a breath. As you exhale, pull your belly in and press gently with your forearms to bring your upper body up. So we need to be careful of the tendency to look up and shorten the back of the neck here. So it's okay that you're still looking down. Then inhale and lower down. Exhale, press up. Inhale, lower down. Okay, so keep your buttocks and your belly tight and make sure that you're not feeling any compression in your low back. Your legs and thighs stay pressing down into the mat. We're just going to keep moving with our breath here. And if you feel like you need more, you could move your hands back toward your shoulders, and then you would come up into a higher swan position, okay? So just do what feels right to your body, okay? And we press up, and if you're choosing to go higher, you really need to draw your abdominals up and in quite a bit. And let's do one more. Pressing up. Shoulder blades down the back, heart opens, and then come on down. And we'll go ahead and just fold your, place your hands unstacked on the mat and put your forehead on your hands and rest for a moment. We can bend our knees here and then swing your lower legs side to side And this is a nice little back release that we can experience here. Okay. So now in this position that we're in, all right, let's go ahead and straighten out our legs. Keep your forehead on your stacked hand. So you're looking straight down at the mat and your forehead is resting. The back of the neck is long. Now pull up your belly, pull up your pelvic floor, and kick yourself in the booty twice with one of your legs. And then as you lengthen your leg, extend the leg out long. And then let's go ahead and kick with the other leg and extend the leg out long. So there's almost like a little, after the kick, a reach where you're growing your leg longer out of your hip socket. Okay, so let's do one more on each side. And kick. I actually can feel my legs growing longer with that. And then we can choose whether we want to go up into the next position, right? So if you want a little bit more stability challenge, come up onto your forearms. If that doesn't feel right to you, you can continue on with your forehead down on your hands. Your fists are on the mat. Now pull your shoulder blades down as if you were like trying to pull yourself forward with your arms on your mat. Pull up your belly, tighten up your glutes, and we'll do the same exercise. Kick, extend and lengthen. Kick, extend and lengthen. In this position, we'll keep going here and breathing. You may feel that there's a little bit more stretch in the thigh. Okay, and that's actually a good thing. So this is our single leg kick. Nice. And we'll do one more on each side. So it's kick, extend, kick, extend, and then go ahead and lay down with one cheek on the mat. Bring your arms beside you with the palms facing up. So thumbs are in, so our shoulders are rounded for a moment. We're just going to rest here for a moment. Now take a breath. Moving into a variation of our double leg kick. We're going to tighten up our belly, tighten up our abdominals and our glutes, and then go ahead and kick yourself 3 times with both feet. Now, as you extend your legs, bring your legs all the way down to the mat and then rise up and rotate your palms to face outward. So we have a beautiful postural correction here. And then when we lower down, place your other cheek on the mat and rotate so that your palms are up again. So 1, 2, 3 kicks, lower the legs, come up. You're looking straight down at the top of your mat as you're up with your palms facing outward, thumbs up, and external rotation. And then lower down, internally rotate your shoulders. 1, 2, 3 kicks, lower the legs, come up, externally rotating your shoulders. Good. And then lower down, other cheek on the mat, back of the hand on the mat. 1, 2, 3, and come up. Rotate your palms open, thumbs up. Hold for just a little bit longer. Pull up your belly. Pull your shoulder blades down. Reach your arms long. Look up at the top of your mat and then finally come down. That was lovely. Okay, so from here, let's go ahead and press back into a wide knee, toes together, child's pose for a moment, and just stretch out the back. Let's keep breathing. One more breath. Good. And then let's go ahead and come back down onto the mat, onto our side. We'll just lay down. I'm laying down on my left side. So the right leg is going to be working, and we'll organize ourselves so that from the crown of our head to our tailbone is lined up with the back of the mat. Okay. So now bring your legs a little bit forward. So you're just hinged right at your hip joint. Then we lift our waist. Okay, so we can have fingers in front of us for now. Pull your shoulders down, press down through the bottom leg, lift the top leg. Okay, so now bring your top leg forward and you're flexing your foot and then point your toe and bring the top leg back. Flex the foot. Top leg forward, point your toe, top leg back. Good. So what we'll find here is that we need to determine what's our range of motion that we can do, where our glutes and our hip muscles are working and our abs are stabilizing. We want to keep our spine stable here. So as we're moving and breathing, let's pay attention to whether we're keeping ourselves stable, so we can put our forearm behind our back and feel whether we're really flexing and bowing in the back, or whether we're have chosen a range of motion where we can keep ourselves stable. Let's do one more, forward and back. Perfect job. Let's go ahead and rest down. Maybe give ourselves a little Pilates massage here. A little side kick. All right. So let's go ahead and do our développé today. So keep pressing down into the floor with your bottom leg. Make sure the bottom leg is very active. The side waist is lifted. Then your top leg externally rotated, so your toes are pointing up, and then begin to trace with your toes along your inner line of your bottom leg. Then when you reach your comfortable hip flexion, straighten the leg up toward the ceiling. Now flex your foot, lead down with your heel. Good. And then point your toe. We'll just do forward each direction here. And trace your toe up the inner line of the leg, and then extend the leg, flex your foot, lower the leg. You're making any adjustments that you need to, if you feel like you've got any clunking or popping, and it would be more on the way down, okay? Try doing a smaller range of motion. And it's also okay to support your leg with your hand on the way down if you feel that that is something that you need to do to keep it from popping. Now, let's go ahead and lift the leg up with a flexed foot. Bend your knee, point your toe. Trace down your leg. Flex your foot. Lift your leg. Bend your knee, point your toe. Trace down the inner line of the leg. Flex your foot. Lift your leg, point your toe, bend your knee. Trace down. Last one, flex your foot, lift your leg, point your toe, bend your knee, and trace down. Nicely done. Good. So we'll go ahead and just take a breath here. Make sure that your hips are aligned. Pull up your waist again if we forgot about that for a moment with all the choreography. And we'll press down into the mat with the bottom leg. Lift the top leg up to hip height. You could have a pointed toe or Barbie foot, and then we'll go ahead and go into our circles. So make your circles an appropriate range that you are feeling your abdominals stabilize, so that you're not rocking and rolling through your body. We'll do 8 in each direction. Let's go ahead and go the other direction. For more challenge, you can always bring your arm up toward the ceiling. You can have your hand on your hip to feel what's going on, or hand on the floor in front or behind. And 8. Let's go ahead and let that go. Oh my goodness. That's some good work. All right. So we need to do the other side now. So we'll go ahead and press up, swing our legs around, and lay down on the other side. Again, organizing our body so that we are lined up with our mat from head to toe. Good. And then bring your legs forward so that you're a little bent right at the hip. Good. Pull your belly up, lift the side waist. You can have your hands in front of you, behind you, or up toward the ceiling. We'll press down into the mat with our bottom leg, lift the top leg up to hip height. And then flex your foot, bring it forward, point your toe, bring it back. We did 10 on the other side, so we'll do the same thing here. Good. That's it. Now, if you desire to add any choreography to this movement, you could do a little pulse pulse as you bring your leg forward, and pulse pulse as you bring it back. Only do that if you feel like you do need a little bit more challenge. You want to challenge your stability more. Keep breathing. And 8. And 9. And 10. Perfect job. And just rest your leg. And take a little Pilates massage moment. Take an extra breath. And then again, pulling up our side waist off the mat, making sure that we're engaged in our abdominals. We'll go ahead and keep the bottom leg flexed and pressing into the floor. Rotate the top thigh into external rotation at the hip joint. Point your toe, trace your leg up the inner line of the bottom leg, and then extend it up. Flex your foot, lead down with your heel. Point your toe, come up the inner line of your leg, extend, flex your heel, and come down. And 3 of 4 in this direction. Just keep moving with your breath. Go as slowly as you need to really feel the work of reaching long through your leg. Good, and then we'll go the other direction. Lift your foot with a flexed foot, point your toes, come down to the inner line of the leg, and then extend long. Flex your foot, lift your leg, point your toe, bend your knee. Keep breathing. Keep pulling into your abdominals. Maybe you have the corners of your mouth softly lifted. And last one. Good, just rest down for a moment. Nicely done. So we'll keep pressing into the mat with the bottom leg. Pull up your belly and lift our top leg to hip height. We can have our toe pointed or have a little Barbie foot. And let's do 8 circles in each direction. Paying attention to how our abdominals are working to keep our back and our torso stable. 6, 7, 8. It's interesting to really pay attention to the leg on the mat too and how it has to work in order to help us. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Beautiful job, and rest down. Nicely done. Good. So let's go ahead and come up and sit up and bend our knees. We'll sit up on our sit bones. And we'll have our hands right behind our thighs, right behind the knee joint with our nice wide elbows that I'm obsessed with. I know the wide elbows are just so lovely because they help us keep our shoulders down and our collarbones wide. So squeeze your thighs together, squeeze your ankles together, and then use your hands on your thighs to pull yourself up a little taller. So now see if you can lean back a little bit, enough to feel your abs without your back changing, and just let go. Good, yeah, that's right. So here we are. We're in a little, what I call a teaser prep position. So now squeeze your thighs together a little bit more. Pull up a little bit more into your pelvic floor and your belly and lift your heart more. Yeah. See if it's possible to extend your right leg, but don't let your leg drop. That's it. Okay. That just became not so much fun, didn't it? All right. So we're going to just count down from 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Keep your chest lifted. 2, 1, bend your knee, place your hands behind your legs and help yourself up. Soles of the feet together, knees apart, and just come on forward with a nice flat back. So you offer your heart forward. We get a little bit of a stretch in the inner thigh, what we call the groins in yoga. It's the upper adductor area. Very important to maintain flexibility there, because those muscles are what recenter our femur bone under our pelvis when we're walking, dancing, whatever we're doing in life. Okay, so let's go ahead and bring our legs back together, hands behind your thighs, lift your chest. The elbows are nice and wide. Lean back enough to feel your abdominals begin to work, and let go and smile. Keep your chest lifted, pull up through your pelvic floor, pull up into your belly. Keep your knees squeezing together, and now extend your left leg. Keep your thighs at the same height. Good, and just keep breathing. Keep smiling. And 6, 5, 4, lift your chest. 2, 1, and then let it go. Grab your thighs behind your hands behind your thighs, pull yourself forward. Soles of the feet together, knees apart, and then reach forward, just pulling with your arms. The lovely Baddha Konasana, actually, a little butterfly stretch. Let's come on up. Bring your legs back together. So you have knees and ankles together with your hands behind your thighs. Lift your chest with your elbows wide. Pull up your pelvic floor. Pull into your belly. Lean back enough that you feel your abdominals begin to work. Good. Now, before we let go, let's go ahead and extend the right leg and then rotate your legs so that your toes are pointed outward. So this is going to engage a different part of your thigh muscle. Lift your chest again. Now squeeze everything together and let go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then bring your hands back behind, pull yourself forward. A little Baddha Konasana stretch here. So that external rotation is for your vastus medialis and the lower piece of that, the famous, infamous VMO. It's responsible for straightening your leg. So it also is responsible for making sure your kneecap tracks properly. Let's come on up and do the other side. Bring your ankles and your knees together, hands behind your thighs, lift your chest up, lean back a little, pull up through your pelvic floor and your abs, extend the left leg, externally rotate the left leg, keep your legs squeezing together and let go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands on the thighs, lengthen forward and stretch. Nicely done, everybody. So from here, let's go ahead and lay down. So we're gonna go ahead and just lay down on our side and then come back to our back. Okay. So from here, if you don't have bone density loss, you can have your hands behind your head and you can hold your head up. If you do have bone density loss, you need to have your head down, but you'll place your hands underneath your behind, okay? And then whatever position you're choosing, pull into your belly, bring your legs into a close tabletop and straighten your legs up toward the ceiling. Zip your thighs together. Now, lower your legs only as far as you can, keeping your back in position on the mat, and then bring them back up again. So this range of movement is determined by two things. Your neck is happy and your back is happy, okay? So we really do not want to have the back lifting or the neck getting tension. So this is going to be an individual range of motion. And let's try inhaling as we lower the legs. Exhale, strong exhale to bring your legs back up again. Let's do about 4 more here. Exhale, come up. Inhale down. Exhale, come up. Inhale down. Exhale, come up. And I think 1 more there. And exhale up. Very nicely done. Let's fold your knees and take your knees around in mirror image circles. Let's go the other direction. Perfect. And we'll place our feet down on the mat. Now we'll take hands behind the base of the skull. Interlace your fingers and lengthen the back of the neck. So if we're working with a head hover or working with the head down, here's how we go. We'll exhale, pull into our belly, bring the left leg up, and rotate your heart toward your left leg. So this can be done with the head down. And then bring the left leg down as your head comes back to center. Exhale, lift up the right leg, and rotate your heart toward the right leg. So if you're working in a head hover, you will be just a tiny bit higher, but we're still rotating toward a bending knee. And if you don't need to be concerned with that, you can come up and see if you can bring your elbow and knee into the same airspace. So you are then pressing through both hips and one shoulder blade. And naturally, this does move into crisscross. So if you wish to go into the full crisscross, you just bring both legs up to tabletop, and then you're rotating your heart toward the bent knee as the other leg extends. And we're doing this with control so that we have 2 hip and 1 shoulder pressure onto the mat. Both hips, 1 shoulder in the rotated position. Okay. So that's fun. And we'll just do a few more. And last one. Perfect. Come on down. Open your arms out wide. Take your knees to one side. Just stretch it out. Now we've done this knees to the side stretch a few times. So if your flexibility allows, you could extend your top leg. Just be careful if you've had a hip replacement on the top leg, that the leg extension will get you into kind of more your IT band and lateral hip area sometimes. And before you get ready to go to the other side, you would bend your knee and then bring your legs together to center as one. And let's go over to the other side. So you can choose whether you want to extend the top leg or not. And then before you come back to center, you would retract the bottom or the top leg, excuse me. Okay, good. So let's go ahead now and come onto our back. Just even everything out. Have your arms down beside you. Back of the neck is long. And we'll have our feet standing on the mat. And bring your legs as close together as you can here. So we'll lift up into a bottom lift if you have bone density loss, or you can come up higher into a bridge position if you don't, and stretch the tops of your thighs. Okay, either way, the shoulder blades are supporting us, so we're not going onto the neck at all. Okay, now let's go ahead and just do a few up and down here. So as we exhale, pull into belly and use your buttocks to lift your hips. And however high you're going or however low you're keeping it, the movement is initiated by the buttock muscles, and that makes your hamstrings very happy, because if the hamstrings are trying to do this work before the rear end engages, they will likely cramp. They won't be very happy hamstrings. So they like to be helpers, not prime movers in this movement. Now we'll just do a few more. Up and down. Good. Now place your hands on your hip bones in front and lift your elbows off the mat. So we'll come up again and feel the levelness of your hips, and then shift over to your left leg. Keep your hips level, lift the right in a marching position, put the right down, shift over to the right leg, keep your hips level, lift the left, put it down. So let's do 2 more sets. Shift to the left, lift the right leg, put it down, shift to the right, lift the left leg, put it down. 1 more, shift left, lift right and down, shift right, lift left and down, and then come to center and lower down. Let's take our knees into our chest. And just take your knees in and out. You sort of rock in and out to capture a little stretch through the glutes and the low back. Perfect. Let's place our feet back down on the mat. Squeeze your thighs together and your ankles together as well. Let's place our hands back down on the mat. Palms down is fine. Chest open is great. Back of the neck is long. Engage your buttocks. Lift up your hips to an appropriate height. Now this time shift over to the left, lift the right, extend the right long, and then lower your right leg until your thighs are parallel and pick it up. And lower and lift your straight right leg. 2 more, lower and lift. One more. Lower and lift. Bend your right knee, set it down next to the left leg, and then go ahead and shift over to the right side. Lift the left leg, extend it straight up, and lower your leg and lift it 4 times, keeping your leg as straight as possible. Just go to where your thighs are parallel, and then lift it back up. Do your best to keep your hips level. Last one, bend your knees, set your foot back down, level the hips, come on down. Take your knees into your hands, take your knees around in a circle in the same direction together so that you're massaging the edges of the sacrum. And let's go the other direction. And let's hug our knees in for a moment. Take a breath. We have one more fun thing to do. Okay, so feet come down, arms come down, shoulders come down the back. Lengthen the back of your neck. Take a breath. Exhale, engage your buttocks. Lift up your hips. Make sure that your thighs are still together. Okay, now shift over to the left leg. Lift the right leg. Extend it up toward the ceiling. Now lower your hips and lift them back up again. So you're doing a bridge, lowering and lifting using your left buttock. And 3 and 4. Okay, bring your right leg down, squeeze your legs together, recommit to your pelvic floor and your core, shift over to the right leg, lift the left, extend it up high, and lower, and lift. 3, 4 times. 2, 3, and 4. Bend your knee, put your foot back down, reestablish your bridge, roll down, lengthening your spine, bring your knees in. Take your knees around circles in whatever way feels good. Perfect. Now, let's go ahead and put your right foot on the floor. Take your left leg in both hands and hold on to the back of your leg anywhere that you can, where you can keep your leg mostly straight, your arms are rounded. Okay, great. Now, the right leg is going to extend out long. You can do a 45-degree angle or lower, depending on how much belly you need to bring into it or you want to. Head up or down, and we'll switch the leg we're holding. So we have our single long leg stretch. So if your head is up, you're looking down over your cheekbones. You can try pulse, pulse as you're holding the leg, pulse, pulse. Okay, switching sides. If your head needs to be down because you're helping your bone density, then you would probably be switching a little higher in the air, okay? So we always want to keep in mind we need to change the height of our leg when our head is down. Okay, just do a couple more on each side. Keep breathing, breathing, breathing. Knees in, good, very nicely done. And let's go ahead and lower our legs. And we'll come around, come up. Good, and let's come into all fours. So in all fours, we'll go ahead and just do a few little cat-cows. So exhaling to pull belly in and gently arching your back toward the sky. Inhaling to bring your heart and your belly open toward the floor. These can be very, very small movements. We want to be gentle with our back, gentle with our spine. So thinking of just oscillating the spine, just pumping some nutrition between the vertebrae. And anywhere that you feel tight, of course, you could kind of arc in that direction. Okay, so it's okay to have it be not just straight up and down, but you might want to arc from side to side and just see how that is for you today. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and keep your hands below your shoulders, right? Point your fingers inward a little bit, and then keep your rear end where it is. Lower your head, neck, shoulders, and chest down and push up. So find a comfortable position for your hands and your wrists, okay? And if this isn't it, change it up. Okay, you can also try bending your elbows straight back. So this is a push-up prep, okay, where we're really not requiring our body to manage our whole body weight. And if you want more, you can start walking your knees back and do this, approach this exercise for more of a knees down plank position, okay? So it's up to you, but let's see if we can do about 10 of whatever variation. And of course, if you're feeling super buff today and you can do these from a full plank, be my guest. I am not going to demonstrate that today. So let's go ahead and just do our set. Feel the strength that you're building in your chest and your arms. This is a really good functional movement. I was just reading on Nextdoor, one of my neighbors fell down, and because she wasn't strong enough in her arms, she couldn't get back up again. Had to call the fire department. Luckily they came, she's okay. But we wonder, you know, why a push-up? Well, that's why. Let's go ahead and press back, knees apart, toes together, come into a wide-legged child's pose. Well, that was fun. Let's go ahead and just take a couple of moments to work on a couple of our balance exercises next. So we'll move into standing. You can see my feet. So we'll just have our hands on our hips, pull your shoulders down. Now, the important thing here is your hips are level, right? So when you shift your weight over to one side, you really don't want to, you know, just dip into the hip because this stretches out these important muscles here. Okay, so we want to shift over sideways so we're weight bearing, but the hips are still level. And then the leg that you shifted away from is going to be a little bit bent, and you're just going to tap your foot. I wouldn't do this while I was waiting in line at the post office. They might take it wrong, but you know, somewhere else. It doesn't take very long for the shin to warm up, right? So this is your anterior tibialis, as we talked about last week. It is a fall prevention muscle, helping to prevent a forward fall. Oh, that's a lot. Okay, come back to both feet standing, shift over to the other side and just tap your foot. Sounds crazy, I know, but if we begin to fall forward, the anterior tibialis stiffens our ankle and it helps us to not continue that forward fall. So this also prevents shin splints for people who like to run, which I've personally never understood liking to run, but some people love it. And so there you go. Okay, and then come back to center. Very nice. And now let's shift over, again, keeping the hips level, and see if it's possible to reduce the weight of your other leg or lift the leg completely. Okay, and we'll count down from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Now take that leg all the way back into a split stance. So landing on your toes, release your arms, bring your arms out to the side. Inhale as you rotate your upper body. Exhale to come back to center. Inhale, rotate your upper body the other way. Exhale, back to center. One more on each side. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Bring your arms down. Step forward. And we're hands back on hips again. Shift your weight over. Lift your leg or just take weight off of it. And we count down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now step that leg back, land on your toes. Bring your arms out to the side. Inhale, rotate. Exhale, center. Inhale, rotate. Exhale, center. One more on each side. Inhale, rotate. Exhale, center. Inhale, rotate. Exhale, center. Arms down, step forward. Good. And let's go back to our mats. Did you notice that when you were standing on one leg, it became more about your foot wiggling back and forth? And those are the other muscles in your lower leg that help you. We're moving into our mermaid now. Balance, okay? So lots of muscles involved in balance, and we just want to purposefully work those muscles on a daily basis. So let's pull our shoulders down. We come into our Z sit, bring one arm up toward the ceiling, and then exhale over onto your forearm. And take a nice deep breath into your side body. And as you exhale, arc your top arm up and then press up and see if you can come to balance. Yeah. And then grab a hold of your shin and go into a counter stretch here. Just breathe. Your arm position can be adjusted if you're healing a shoulder lower, okay? And then come back to balance and come back over into your side stretch. Then from here, we can choose to go into rotation. We can inhale and open our heart toward the ceiling. Exhale, pull your belly in and rotate. If this does not feel right to your hip or your knee, you would just flip over on your back and cross one ankle over the opposite thigh, okay? If you need more, you go into pigeon pose from yoga and keep breathing. We'll take a couple more breaths here. And then our next inhale, we'll unwind. Exhale, come on up. Ta-da! And then we'll switch our legs around. Pulling shoulder down the back, reaching long to lengthen. We'll exhale over. Take a nice deep breath into the side body. And then as we exhale, use belly strength. Arc your top arm up, come up to balance. Grab a hold of your shin and reach your arm up for the counter stretch. Take another breath. Come back to the balance and then lower down. Take a breath. You can stay here or you can move on into rotation. Inhaling, opening your heart. Exhaling, pulling into your belly. Okay, you can choose your figure 4 stretch on your back here or choose your pigeon pose as well. Just keep breathing. Just check in with your body. See if there's anywhere that you need to move or breathe to get any tight spots that are asking for some attention. Take one more breath here. We'll inhale to unwind. Exhale, come up. And we'll swing our legs around. Let's pull our shoulders down and our abs in and lift the corners of our mouth until I see you again. Okay.